The wee hours of the morning, Instagrammers. Want to talk about sex, the value of the sex, misassociations of sex, and I'll lead with this. Sex does not validate marriage. Okay? Sex does not validate marriage. There's a lot of people who get married and they think that sex validates marriage. Sex enhances marriage. Sex is supposed to increase the unification of marriage, but it does not validate marriage. There's a lot of women who think they have to be married in order to have sex. And that is false. Sex is freely given to you. So freely given to you that your awareness, your slight awareness of it starts very early. That doesn't mean that's when you should start being sexual, but it starts very early. And so if it starts very early, marriage is not needed to validate it. However, marriage is used as a platform to solidify a union between two people. Okay? There's a certain class of people that get married for love so that they can validate the sex. However, when you become a part of like the affluent or people like that, they typically don't marry for love. They marry for business associations. They marry for legacy building. They marry for other things. And because people are so institutionalized into marriage, they then began to think that marriage justifies the union. And it doesn't justify the union. Marriage simply solidifies the union, but it doesn't justify the union. So therefore, if you're a person who has sex merely for the sake, or better yet, who gets married merely for the sake to validate your sexual action, then you are going about it all wrong. Because what happens is if your spouse becomes where they can't have sex with you for whatever reason, either because your distance is apart, or they become sexually impotent, or for a female there's female vaginal dryness or something like that, all of those things go into play, then it can affect your marriage because people have wrapped their sexual identity and their identity, their ego, into the fact that they are now married. So I really want to encourage us to, first of all, sex is supposed to be a transference of energy to energy, spirit to spirit, person to person, to build your relationship in that capacity. And sometimes in those situations, people can be in healthy relationships that can involve one partner, that can involve even multiple partners, but there has to be a healthy understanding in that relationship. I do not qualify people cheating on their spouses. Neither do I qualify people having multiple partners without responsibility. You have to be responsible when you're engaging in sexual activity. So if you're a person out there having sex with multiple people, but you're doing without protection, or you're doing it without consideration of the other people that you're having sex with, then you're a renegade out here. And you have, because sexually transmitted diseases is both spiritual and physical. It's not just, you go to the doctor, you get a shot, you get the cream, you get the pills or whatever. sexually transmitted diseases are also spiritual. I knew a young lady once who said she didn't even have thoughts of committing suicide until she was dating a guy who constantly talked about committing suicide and killing himself. And then later on, when they broke up, she started having these desires. She never had those desires before. So there's spiritually transmitted diseases as well as physically transmitted diseases that can happen as a byproduct of sex. So I want us to be more responsible with our sexual engagement. You know, if you're not sure about who you want to have sex with, but you still have those sexual urges, I implore you to try gratifying yourself first before you try seeking someone else to gratify you. You know, find out your things that you like or you dislike. You won't know until you try it on yourself. You know, don't try it with other people first and then you're like, well, I don't like, this happening while I'm being intimate. Try it with if it's something that you can try with yourself, try it with yourself first. And then, or try it with another person whom you trust, who's trustworthy. Be safe. Try to get to know your partner first before engaging in sex with them. Have conversations. Be an adult when you're engaging in sexual activity. There's a lot of people that are participating in sex, and they do it so willy-nilly that, even the people that they're being intimate with doesn't even know that they're the only one, or they're at that place where like, oh my goodness, this person is having sex with so many people. I don't know what's happening in this relationship. So let's be responsible, and part of responsibility is owning up to the fact that maybe you like having several partners, or you are a person that's really about monogamy, or if you're into polygamy, polygyny, polyamory, whatever your thing is, be honest about that. Also, take yourself to the doctor. Make sure you're getting all of your regular checkups, because your health matters as well as someone else's health matters. Sexually transmitted diseases, especially when it comes to physical, they mostly happen between one person who trusted somebody else to take care of them. No one can take care of you like you take care of you. All right? So be responsible for you, and in the process, be responsible for others. All right? One love, everybody. Ciao.